Hey guys, welcome back to Sun Crypto. It is January 1st, 2022, 12 15 a.m. Eastern time, right? So in today's content, we will talk about BTC on the macro scale and what type of price action we could could expect, over the next like a few months or even like a few years, right? Regarding the macro view and all that good stuff. By the way, Happy New Year. Hopefully all of you guys enjoy the 2021 volatility, and hopefully we will get a more volatile 2022 more volatile 2022 market and all that good stuff. Okay, I gotta get used to 2022 now. Been saying 2021 for 12 months, right? For 12 months, yeah. All right, guys. So Pablo S Crypto in the house, thanks a lot for tuning in. Happy New Year. So we will take a look at BTC on a yearly basis, right? When we talk about the yearly basis, we basically saying like the 12-month time frame, right? So over the last 12 years, right? Not 12 months, since like 2010, right? 2010, you can see like BTC has not been very bearish. It's been like it's been moving exponentially to the upside, crazingly. Okay, so most bears, they're still looking for like a lower prices, but if you zoom out and take a look at the macro view, if you got, let's say you got a 3 to 5 years outlook, BTC is extremely bullish, and I'm extremely bullish on BTC over the next like a 3 to 5 years, or even like a 10 years. But I think like a 3 to 5 years is a good time horizon regarding the macro view and all that good stuff, right? So our first bearish yearly cycle was back in 2014, and most bears, okay, most traders been saying like, okay, the bear market was pretty long, okay. But if you take a look at it right here, the bear market was only for a year, okay. Yes, we did not break out all-time high till 2016, but if you just like buy the dip, right, and reaccumulate during the downtrend, you can see like BTC right now it is above like a 40K, 45K, and all that good stuff. Okay, so if you take a look at it right here, back in 2018, it was pretty painful because we did get like, let's say, a lot of traders, okay, were pretty much new to the market, so they weren't used to like a 12-month downtrend. Okay, but for us right now, if you've been in the market like more than 3 to 4 years, you're going to be like, okay, I don't care about a 12-month time frame. I got a 3 to 5 years outlook. Even if we move sideways for the entire 2022, I don't think we will, but just in case we move sideways for the entire 2022, you're going to be like, okay, I know exactly what's going on. If I zoom out and take a look at what happened back in 2014 right here, in 2018, right? We did not basically dump like for more than 12 months. Okay, so I'm not saying 2022, I don't know. Okay, I'm not saying 2022 will be a bearish month, but I'm pretty sure, okay, whatever happened, right? Most traders will basically take advantage of the downtrend if we get a downtrend. Okay, but it is only a speculative analysis on the yearly time frame, but we will take a look at the quarterly and all that good stuff, right? But overall, on a yearly basis, BTC is extremely bullish. Okay, it is moving it is moving exponentially, so nothing you can say. A 50% drawdown, it is pretty normal. Okay, a 50% pullback for something that pumps like 50x, 100x, and all that good stuff. If it dumps like a 50%, it is going to be what, a steal. Okay, meaning like 50% from all-time high and all that good stuff, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on a quarterly basis, right? So when we take a look at BTC on a quarterly basis, you can see like I talked about it previously. Okay, what I was saying was like, I think bulls are smart enough, right, not to let price dip below 44K before 2022. I've been saying it over the last 2 weeks. Okay, that's why even though I've been bearish between like 53 or 52.7 all the way down to like a 40K, I was saying like, okay, I don't think we will basically break out below 44 before end of the year, because it'll look bad. Okay, if we did break out below 44, we would be getting like a potential shooting star, depending on how deep the body candle going to be on on the bearish side. Okay, meaning like how deep it would be dumping below 40K and all that good stuff, right? But luckily, okay, the candle is green, even though it is a big rejection. It is better than a red candle. That's the only thing we got to remember regarding the quarterly cycle. Okay, so the quarterly support on the macro view, all right, it is going to be the 21 EMA on a macro scale. Let's say over the next like a few quarters, like let's say mid 2022 or late 2022, we decide to retest the 21 EMA like what we did back in 2021, right here, just about like a 4K. You're going to be like, okay, we've seen it before. We've seen it back in 2015, right here, October 2015. We've seen it right here back in October, not October, yes, actually October 2018, December 2018, the last quarter of 2018 right here. And we've seen it the first quarter of, 2021. So if we retest the quarterly 21 EMA, for whatever reason, Corona dump, whatever, okay, I just don't know, right? You got to remember the quarterly 21 EMA going to be a pivot point, okay? If we retest it right now, it is at 20K, give or take 19.8, right? 20K range, all right? So something to keep in mind. I'm not saying we will, because it is going to be quite difficult, right, for the bears to break out below 30K. And we will talk about the structure, on the on the 3D and all that good stuff, and why 30K is going to be a very, very strong support over the next like a few weeks and so on, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on a monthly basis, right? So when we take a look at BTC on a monthly basis, what we've been saying is like our monthly 21 EMA, it is one of the most important price level, right? If you're looking for a macro, let's say I'm looking for a macro accumulation, a macro support, okay, and I don't care about like a price action breaking out below support. I just want to buy at that support area and wait for like a 3 to 5 years. That's going to be your 21 EMA on a monthly basis, okay? The 21 EMA on a monthly basis, it is going to be your best friend, all right? So the 21 EMA right now, it is somewhere around like a 36, 37K, right? To be exact, 36,423 on BLX, right? But it could be different if you're using like a Binance, Coinbase, and all that good stuff. But just to cut it short, just about like a 36, 37K, right? So 36 to 37 going to be going to provide us a monthly support. It doesn't mean bears can't break out below it. But all I'm saying is, if I buy at the monthly 21, I won't be selling it, right, anywhere around this area. Okay, if you take a look at it right here back in 2018, if you accumulated BTC at 6K, I remember when BTC was at 6K, everyone was saying like, oh, okay, everybody was saying like we're going to be dumping, down to like a 3K. Yes, you're going to be like, okay, it is a 50% dump, but think about it. BTC is moving exponentially. Okay, a 50% dump, it is something normal, not something crazy. Okay, so even though it dumped like a 50% down to 3K. If you take a look at it right now, it is 10x. Okay, since like when? Since like, let's say you bought back in July 2018. Okay, BTC pumped like a 10x less than 2 or 3 years later. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. If and only if we find, not if and only if, but if we retest the 21 EMA for the macro traders, it is a good level to stock up some BTC and just forget about it. Okay, and just forget about it. Could we dump 50% again? Absolutely. We could dump like 45, 50% because we just talked about the quarterly 21 EMA, which is right around like 20K. So which is going to be a 50% drawdown below the 21 EMA, but I won't care. It means like I'm just going to reaccumulate more at the quarterly 21 EMA because I know we got a pretty good chance over the next like a few few months or even like a few years to basically pump a nice 5 to 10x to the upside. And we will talk about the these Fibonacci target to the upside over the next like a few years and all that good stuff, right? So something to keep in mind, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on a weekly basis. So when we take a look at BTC on a weekly basis, it doesn't look good at all. Okay, just to understand what's going on in terms of like the weekly time frame, right? We got a pretty nasty bearish divergence right here. So it doesn't look good, right? If we take a look at the chart and you give yourself and you give a an honest analysis, basically not a biased analysis, you're going to be like, okay, I just got to respect what I see, even though, okay, on the macro scale, on the yearly cycle, okay, everything is looking good, but the weekly down to the 3-day time frame, right, we will take a look at the 3-day time frame. They don't look great. Okay, they don't look great. So bearish divergence on our, on our MACD, another bearish divergence on our side right here. So we got a double bearish divergence. So we got to flip bullish over the next like a few weeks or even like a few months in order to basically in order to basically in order to start like talking about like a BTC going to 100K and all that good stuff, right? So since like we bearish, what type of support we could expect? Okay, we got our weekly 100 EMA right now, right around 35, 36, right? To be exact, 35,387. That's going to be our weekly 100 EMA, pretty close to the monthly 21 EMA. Okay, the monthly 21 EMA, it is just about like a 36, and the weekly 100 EMA right around like a 35. So 36, plus minus 1,000 point, right? Going to be a nice range to keep an eye on over the next like a few months. It could take forever to retest it, but we're not basically trying to time the market. We just try to stay with the directional move, right? But as of now, as we said, the directional move, short to medium term, it is downward. The macro view, yearly, okay, quarterly, and all that good stuff, it is still upward, okay, upward, right? So support on the on the weekly basis. If we break out below the 45K, we got the weekly 100 EMA. Yes, we got 40K support, but still, guys, you got to try to cover the downside. Okay, we will talk about the 40K support on the 3D and all that good stuff, right? So now let's take a look at BTC on the 3D basis. So if we take a look at BTC on the 3D basis, we got one of the best strategy on the 3D basis. I said it multiple times, right? If we close, if we open and close a bearish candle below the 3D 21, we got to pack our bags. Okay, I said it right here. I was like, okay, we could pump back up above the 3D 21. However, a breakout below 52.7, we got to pack our bags and basically reaccumulate BTC at lower prices. And if you take a look at it, right here, after we broke out below 52.7, I said exactly, okay, we could be dumping all the way down to 40K, and we did that exactly, dump all the way down to 40K. So if you try to fight the trend, right, you would be you would be down like 20% in like less than 6 hours, because sucker was moving pretty fast, pretty fast. Okay, so on a 3D basis, what we need to see over the next like a few weeks is that we got to get our MACD, guys. We got to get the MACD to flip positive. As long as MACD is negative, the trend going to be down. As long as the MACD on our 3D time frame, okay, as long as the MACD is staying negative, the trend going to stay negative. It is very, very simple. Nothing nothing bullish or nothing nothing bearish about BTC. But all I'm saying is like, I'm let me take that back. Okay, I'm not saying like uh, something bearish about BTC, but what I'm trying to say is like, I'm not saying like BTC is extremely bearish or anything, but we just have to basically stick with the strategy regarding the 3D time frame. Okay, as long as we negative on our MACD, we just have to respect the short to medium term trend. Okay, the short to medium term trend weekly down to a 3D time frame, it is negative, because MACD, both MACDs are negative. Price action are still below the below the 21 EMA, both on the weekly and 3D time frame. Okay, So something to basically keep in mind, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on a 2D basis. The 2D basis, it is quite similar to the 3D time frame, but one thing we just noticed is like we got a negative momentum right here, a very strong rejection. Okay, a very strong rejection on the 3D time frame. Yes, we could basically flip back bullish. However, if we basically going to be dumping lower, it means that price action will at least retest the low 40Ks. Okay, we'll retest the low 40K. So we got to get our MACD at the same time on our 2D basis to flip positive, and that's going to be a a positive news, right? But it doesn't mean we're going to be pumping right away, right after we got the bullish crossover. We will talk about it later on. As you can see right here, after we flip positive, it took forever to get the reversal. Okay, we got the positive momentum like the second week of June, but we did not break out till like the last week of July. So over like 30 days of downtrend before we get a real breakout to the upside. So, but the main thing is like as soon as we get the bullish crossover right here to the upside, the volatility, downward volatility going to be low. Okay, it means like even if we dump to the downside, right, we might not be dumping like hard all the way down to 30K. That's why it is important right now to basically get out to the MACD to flip positive to basically reduce the volatility, the downward volatility, right? So hopefully you understand what I'm saying, right? So now let's take a look at BTC on a daily basis. So if we take a look at BTC on a daily basis, we got a pretty good news, okay? The good news is like MACD, as I just said, on the 2D basis, right? Right here, we got to get our MACD to flip positive, and basically the 2D volatility going to, going to remain low if we basically get a positive MACD. That's the same thing we got right here on a daily basis. So MACD is positive. So if we can basically keep the MACD positive right here, the volatility most likely going to stay very low. Okay, meaning like even if we dump, we might not dump below 40K because MACD is still going to be pointing upward, right, till we get a negative crossover, and we could basically try to look for low prices and all that good stuff. Okay, another possibility regarding the daily time frame is like we could get some sort of wedge pattern. It could be ugly, right? But we could get something like that. Okay, right? We could get something like that because most of the time when we talk about wedge pattern, we basically referring to like low volatility, meaning like price action could do something like that, right? Right? A very low volatility, and MACD could still be pushing to the upside, and later on we could basically break out. It is a possibility, something to just keep in mind. I'm not saying it will, but something to basically, something to keep in mind and all that good stuff, right? So now let's take a look at BTC on Gemini, right? So when we take a look at BTC on Gemini, right, you can see like the MACD right here. That's MACD, not MAD. Green candle to 47.5, says Bob, Mr. Franklin. Okay, so when we take a look at BTC on Gemini, we got a beautiful flat correction, but at the same time, right, we could call it what? A triple bottom. Okay, so we could get another pushback up to like a 51, 52, depending on volatility, if MACD, going to stay positive. Okay, so something to keep in mind. However, if we break out to the downside with a negative MACD, next support going to be at 40K, give or take. Okay, 40 to 42K. On average, 42, right? Something to basically keep in mind. Now let's take a look at BTC on a 6-hour basis. So the 6-hour basis being our best friend, right? When we talk about the lower degree, as you can see right here, yesterday, right, last night, I know Moon Boys started to celebrate right here after we pumped to the upside. But as soon as I saw the pump right here, right, with a three-way move, I went to sleep. And I was like, okay, this is it. Okay. We're most likely going to be dumping, by the time I get up, right? And when I woke up, I saw BTC dump into the downside and all that good stuff. And I was like, okay, we got our 21 EMA right here. And we will talk about the hourly basis. At the same time, our 100 EMA on our hourly basis right here rejected the price action. So it is very important to read these type of moves right ahead of time, because in my premium I updated it. I updated the price action even before BTC broke out to the upside. Okay, exactly what I said was, bulls going to be calling for a an inverse head and shoulder right here, right? They're going to be like, once we dump right here, they're going to be like, okay, we got a nice inverse head and shoulder, and we're going to be pumping to the upside. And I was like, guys, don't fall for that. If we break out to the upside, that's going to be our first time retesting the 100 EMA since, okay, the breakdown right here. Okay, so, and most likely the 6-hour 21 EMA going to react again. And exactly that's what happened right here. Okay, that's what happened right here. We got the rejection just about like a 48.5 give or take. Okay, so now BTC is basically breaking out. Let's take a look at it on the hourly basis again. If you take a look at it on the hourly basis, it is just creating a three-way move. Okay, as of now, the 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 inverse head and shoulder right here failed, right there. So if you fell for it, right, you got into trouble, right? So now BTC is coming back down, coming back up to your to your entry and all that good stuff. You got a pretty good chance to get out. So most people will try to get out in this range, because what I'm looking at right now, it is not the previous the previous pattern, but what I'm looking at right now is like we got a three-way move right here, a very impulsive wave, and we could get this move to the upside, right, just to create a flat correction. And I showed you guys like a few hours ago in our public group, and I was like, okay, we could be going back up to 48.5, up to 48.5, just to create the flat correction. Most of you guys don't remember these patterns, but that's the same pattern we had right here. Okay, that's the same pattern we had right here, a three-way move up, a very impulsive move down, and we did get a nice expanded flat to the upside and dump to the downside. In our premium, what I was saying was like, just stay with the 6-hour 21 EMA, while BTC was basically acting crazy right here. Let's take a look at it. Right here, what we were doing was like just staying with the 6-hour 21. Whenever we bounce back up, we just take some short position at the 6-hour 21 EMA, and it is pretty much right the same type of setup right here on the 6-hour. Okay, MACD, it is still negative right here on the 6-hour. So let's see if BTC going to be flipping positive. Even if we flip positive right here, it can still dump later on. Okay, something to keep in mind. I don't say anything bullish on the 6-hour time frame. Okay, most of you guys like the 4-hour, but let's see, on the 4-hour time frame, you could be saying like we got a bullish pattern right here, right? Yeah, you got a bullish pattern. So, but it is a short-term time frame. Okay, so just like the 6-hour time frame, it could just be a flat correction right here. Volume is decreasing right there. Let's take a look at it on Coinbase, right? Low volume. Okay, on the 4-hour, price action is pumping, volume is decreasing. Even though you got a nice bull divergence, right here on your RSI and MACD, right? Volume is decreasing. So I wouldn't trust the move, right? Even if we break out above like a 48.5 up to the 6-hour 100 EMA or 4-hour 100 EMA range, right? I wouldn't trust the move. Okay, the 6-hour 100 EMA, it is kind of overextended. It is right now at 49.5, right? But we will see. Okay, we will see. But as of now, that's what I'm looking at, and I'll send you guys the setup nearly, let's see, right here, like nearly like 7 hours ago, something like that, right? I'll send you guys the setup 2, 4, 6, 9, 10 hours ago, actually. Okay, 10 hours ago, right there. Yeah, right, 10 hours ago. So let's see over the next like a few hours. I'm still bearish on BTC, and I still got like a two shorts position open, right? So I'm still looking for the low 40Ks till we got a very strong bullish setup, and I'm going to be looking for some bullish reversal pattern. But as of now, I'm still going to stay bearish and keep my position open, right? Till we get a strong bullish setup, and I'm going to be flipping long. Do I think the wick at 40K will get filled? Triple X Triple Y says is asking a question actually, right? I mean, we will see. We will see. I think like we could still retest the 40K. It doesn't have to, right? But as I said, on the monthly time frame, right, we can still retest the monthly 21. Okay, the monthly 21 is at 37, so it has to break 40K to basically retest the monthly 21. The 3 weeks 21 EMA, right? It is right now at 43, so we can retest the monthly 21 without basically closing below the 3 weeks 21 EMA. Okay, hopefully it makes sense because the 3D 21 EMA is at 43. If you guys recall my last monthly update, December 1st, what I was saying was like, even if we dump the 3 weeks time frame will defend the price action. And that time, the 3 weeks time frame, the 3 weeks 21 EMA was at 40K. And guess what? We hit 40K and got a nice bounce back up to nearly 52. All right. So we will see. We can break out below it, but we might not close below it. Right. We might not close below it. But the MACD is negative, so let's see. Okay, let's see if we will get a strong 3 weeks breakout on either on either direction. Hey, what's up, Hamza? Thanks a lot for tuning in. We got Clay in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Hi, Mar 101. Thanks a lot for tuning in. John Doe in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in, John. And Pablo S. Crypto. So now let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum on the macro view. So Ethereum, if you've been holding Ether over the last few years, or let's say few months, you're looking pretty good, right? I know I'm in the short term, I'm bearish on the Ether. However, guys, if we take a look at Ether on the macro view, we will take a look at Ether on a quarterly basis, right? Or even yearly basis, because we do not have like enough history for Ether, right? So let's take a look at it on a quarterly basis. If we take a look at Ether on a quarterly basis, right, it is looking extremely bullish. Okay, so we got like 8 straight quarterly bullish cycle. Okay, since like when? Since like January 2020. Okay, it has been pretty bullish. So yes, you might be like, okay, the monthly time frame and all that good stuff, we got some bearish divergences, right? Yes, we just have to acknowledge it, but we just have to accept it also, right? It is still pretty bullish till we get a bearish quarterly cycle and all that good stuff, right? So when we take a look at it right here, our last retest of the quarterly 21 EMA was right around like a $200. Right now, the quarterly 21, it is right around like a $1,300. Okay, I'm not saying we will retest it, but let's say we get another Corona. Okay, you got to remember these prices. Okay, because once they start moving, they will be moving very fast. It is not a target for me as of now, but it is something I'm going to keep in mind in case we get a market shakeout and everything dumps like, let's say, 70% like in 3 days, like what happened back in March 2020. Okay, everything was moving pretty fast, so you got to be ready for those macro analysis, right? For those macro prices. just in case you get a chance to buy Ether under 2K. Okay, but it is not a target for me. I'm just saying keep an eye on the the 21 EMA on the macro view. Okay, so it looks pretty juicy. So now let's take a look at Ether on a monthly basis. So on a monthly basis, you could make an you know make an make an argument like we got a bearish divergence on our RSI right here. Price action still making high highs, and RSI doesn't look that great, and volume is decreasing on Poloniex right here. Okay, but just like BTC, we got our monthly 21 EMA right now somewhere around like a $2,400. If we get any market shakeout, right, we could basically look for the monthly 21 EMA right around 2370. All right, so now let's take a look at Ether on a 3 weeks basis. Ether is pretty strong, as I said, on our 3 weeks time frame, right? Ether did not even retest the 3 weeks 21 EMA, and BTC dumped below the 3 weeks 21 EMA back in May, June, July. So Ether, it is still looking pretty strong. Okay, if we dump within the next like a 3 weeks and so on, the 3 weeks 21 EMA support, it is right around like a 2880. Okay, 2880. So now let's take a look at Ether on a weekly basis. The weekly basis, it is pretty bearish. Okay, even though quarterly, monthly, everything looking pretty. Quarterly looks great, monthly looks okay, but the weekly, we just have to suck it up, right? We got a double divergence. Okay, meaning like all those prices we just talk about, like on the monthly time frame, if we get a big weekly shakeout, we could be retesting our mid $2,000 range. Okay, on the weekly basis, right? So something to keep in mind: the weekly 100 EMA, it is right around like $2,100 right there. Okay, so that's going to be the weekly 100, and weekly 50 going to be at 3,000. Okay, it is going to be 3,000. That's going to be the most important price level before we talk about like a 2,000 area. So keep an eye on Ether. First macro support, give or take 2850. I talk about it multiple times. 2850, 3150 support got to hold if we basically want to, stay bullish over the next like a few quarters and so on, right? We can still, based on Elliott wave, we can still get a double top right here and double bottom, right, and push to the upside. But I want to see how bulls will be basically reacting once we hit like a 3,000. Okay, depending on volatility, because sometimes these suckers, right, they can dump like 50% in one day. Okay, just like what happened back in May, bang. Okay, sucker could basically, just dump 50% and say, I'm done with it. I just gotta take care of business. Okay, but let's see if the volatility is low. First support 2850, up to a 3150. If the volatility is pretty high, we could basically dump all the way down to the monthly 21 EMA / weekly 100 EMA. All right. So now let's take a look at Ether on a 3D basis, because it doesn't have to dump, right? On a 3D basis, right? What we've been saying over the last few weeks, since like the first week of December, as I said, all right, the 3D time frame, it is negative. Okay, our MACD doesn't want to flip bullish, right? After we pump back up above the 3D 21 EMA, I was bullish myself. Okay, I was like, okay, we could be hitting our 55 to a 6,000 target. However, MACD got to flip. It got to flip bullish. If it doesn't, and we dump back below the 21 EMA, we just have to suck it up. Okay, we just have to suck it up till we get back above the 3D 21 EMA with a positive MACD. If we flip positive on our MACD and price action, pump back up above the 21 EMA, we most likely won't retest 3K. Okay, it is very easy. Okay, it is a very, very easy strategy for BTC and basically Ethereum. Okay, because Ethereum does follow BTC. So if BTC pumps back up above the 3D 21, most likely Ethereum will pump back up above its 3D 21 EMA, and MACD could follow with a bullish momentum, and everything could change within the next like a few weeks. So short to medium term, the trend for Ether, just like BTC, the trend is down. However, we just have to be cautious, right, regarding our 3D 21 EMA in case we get a macro breakout above it, and just have to flip back bullish over the next like a few weeks or even like a few months. All right, so something to keep in mind, right? So Hamza, I guess we bearish for the short to a medium term time frame, Hamza says, right? So I said it over the last few days. I said the short to medium term trend, it is down. Okay, the short to short to a medium to short term trend, it is down. Okay, but the macro view, as I said, as long as we stand above our monthly 21 EMA for BTC, I think it is still going to be up. Okay, it is still going to be up. So, and we talked about the monthly the yearly cycle. So the yearly cycle, it is still macroly bullish. So we don't if you're looking for a 3 to 5 years outlook, you should not even worry about BTC being at 30K or 40K. Okay, because within the next like a 3 to 5 years, you could see BTC above above 200K to 300K, right? Some crazy prices. So Mr. William says, I think BTC will hit nearly 50K, 49K to be exact, right, before the dump, right? So let's see what is he saying. Okay, so basically what Mr. William is saying is like, Mr. William is saying, okay, so sometimes you just have to be very cautious with those Fibonacci's, right? It is not that easy to always draw a Fibonacci. Okay, so what is he saying is like, we could be pumping back up, right here, up to 0.618 right there. But a pump back up to 0.618 is like you assuming, okay, this is the bottom, right? And you could be correcting. However, as I just said, right, BTC, it is still correcting in the short term. The correction could just be a three-way move like that. Okay, it could just be a three-way move like that. Yes, we could pump back up to 0.618. However, we just have to keep in mind it is a three-way move. So it could just be a double top, double bottom. So it is not that easy sometimes to always draw your Fibonacci and saying like we're going to be pumping to the upside. Before you pump to the upside, you got to get a strong support, right? At least a double bottom, and you could be looking for like 50% to a 0.618. Right now, the recent dump from like 52 did okay. We're still making like what, lower lows right here, not even creating higher lows. Okay. However, if we basically triple bottom right here, let's say we pump to 48, 49 and retest like 46, yes, I can be like, okay, we got to pump back up now to a 50% to 0.618. But the shape of the pattern right here, right, the shape of the wave is not basically for me. Okay, we could still pump, but it is not one of my preferred setup. All right, so it's not like I trade like every setup. Okay, if I don't like the setup, I don't mess with it. Okay, it just has to be something I'm comfortable with, right? If I'm not comfortable with it, bang, you could be right, it could pump all the way up to a 50K and all that good stuff. But what I'm saying right now, and I'm still correct, since like BTC was at 45.5, I said we could still pump all the way up to a 48.3. That's why I did not try to short right here, even though I got some short position open, right? So something to basically keep in mind. It is not that easy to always draw some Fibonacci. As you can see right here, let's take a look at another good example, right? If you take a look at it right here, right? So if you've been trying to draw a Fibonacci, right, retracement for BTC after the retest of 40K, right, this move right here, you might be like, okay, we're going to 0.618, we're going to 0.618 and all that good stuff. Sucker keep on dumping. Every pump, you're gonna be like, oh, we're going to 0.618, sucker dump. Right here, you say, you're saying like we're going to 0.618, sucker is dumping. But I was not even looking for anything above 51.7. Why? Because the 3D time frame was already telling me, right? We below the 211 EMA. Okay, we below the 211 EMA, and MACD was negative, so I'm not going to be drawing a big Fibonacci, target and looking for like a 56 and all that good stuff, because we already basically broke out below the 21 EMA. Yes, I said we could pump to that level, but the 51.7 going to be our main resistance. Okay, it is going to be our main resistance, but I'm not going to be looking for a long position all the way up to 56 when our MACD is already telling me we're dumping. Okay, so got to be cautious. Always look for the short to medium term trend before you look for the lower degree, like 6 hour, 1 hour, 4 hour, and all that good stuff. Right? It won't be easy to break out above the 21 EMA. Right now it is at 51.4. Okay, it won't be easy. Okay, because MACD, it is still negative. Right? It is still negative. Okay. You're welcome, Mr. William. All right. So I'm just going to keep it short. Let's go ahead and take a look at DOT really quick for Mr. Hamza. So DOT doesn't look bad, right? But MACD, it is still negative, just like BTC. Let's take a look at it on Binance. So on a macro view for DOT, right? If we're going to be pulling back down, right? Keep an eye on the July lows. Okay, keep an eye on the July lows. Right. So just in case we create a double top, double bottom right here with a macro, bearish setup right here before going up to the moon and all that good stuff. Okay, but we got to break out below $22 first, right? Just in case we do get a triple bottom right there. Okay, but if we break out below 22, anything at or close to the July lows, right, going to be a good range. It is going to be a macro support, so I don't expect like DOT to dump down to like a $10, this week or even next week. Okay, because we got multiple supports before we get there. Most people are going to be drawing the Fibonacci's and all that good stuff. And right now, the support regarding the Fibonacci is at 50%, which is right around $24. That's why we've been we've been holding strong at $24. 0.618 going to be at 19, 0.786 going to be at 15, and 0.888 going to be at $12. So it could be very, very challenging to break out below these supports areas, okay? Especially after MACD flips positive. So if bears going to be want to be aggressive, right? If bears want to be aggressive, they got to basically keep the negative momentum going going right here, okay? But if we flip positive, right, you got to start buying the dips, okay? Because it means like the volatility could basically could start like to slow down and all that good stuff, right? So let's take a look at it on a 6-hour basis. So I was bullish on DOT last week from 25 all the way up to 30, 31. Was a nice bullish setup. As soon as we broke out above the 21 EMA right here, because I've been watching it and I recognize the pattern. The pattern right here, it is the same pattern we had back in July for BTC. So as soon as we broke out above the 21 EMA right here, 24.25, I was like, okay, we're going to be pushing all the way up to 31. Okay, and we did break. We got the breakout all the way up to nearly 30, over 32. Okay, the short-term trend on the 6 hour doesn't look good. MACD is negative, and you could get a short-term, flat correction right here. Okay, it can still push back up to 28, so just be cautious, right? We can still push back up to 28. Okay, and if we get a triple bottom right there on the 6 hour, then you could be looking for a 0.618 pullback right there. If and only if we can get a nice triple bottom, you could be looking for like a, let's say 29 up to a $30, right? But overall, right, the pattern right here, right, could just be a flat, and we could get at least a triple bottom. That's why I was saying, we got to break out below $22. All right. All right, guys, I'm just gonna call it a day. Happy New Year. So hopefully hopefully all of you guys, okay, will basically enjoy the 2022, enjoy the BTC volatility. Remember the yearly cycle. If you're looking for the macro view, the next 3 to 4 years, BTC 40K, 50K, 30K is extremely cheap. Okay, over the last 12 years, okay, or even like now 13 years, we only got two bearish yearly cycle, right? So just to recap it, over the last 12 years, right, since 2020, since 2010, okay, we only got two bearish yearly cycle. Are we going to get another bearish yearly cycle in 2022? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But if we do, it is going to be a great opportunity if you're looking for the next like a 3 to 5 years, because BTC could go ballistic after that, could pump 10x, 20x, 30x, or even like a 40x. Who knows? Depending on the lows, right? So that's all I wanted to cover for today, guys. So thanks a lot for watching. All right, thanks a lot, Mr. BU.